Alright, okay, so hello. My name is Chloe Balkcom. I attend Carver High School and I am in 11th grade. I've taken Art 1 honors, Art 2 honors, and this year I am in Art 3 honors and dual enrollment graphic design. So this piece is called Down the Drain. I won third place for my grade with this at a Memphis area award show. This is my favorite piece from my junior year so far, and I had such a blast making this one because I was able to use indie ink like watercolor. The size of it's 13.5 by 16.5. So for this piece, it was required for us to use a triadic color scheme, so I ended up choosing the secondary colors. The size of this is 11 inches by 14 inches, and for this one, I set up my own still life at home, which actually led me to discover that my favorite fruit to draw is peaches. This one was for an assignment called Hands in Motion. I wanted to show how people and the world were constantly pulled in a lot of different directions, and I also wanted to point out that in those directions, people just want to be able to see, want to be able to live. So I used pencils to make this happen. This one is also 11 inches by 14 inches. This project is called In the Bathroom. This ended up being a passion piece for me because I was having a really bad time with my cycle and I wanted to get a lot of anger and emotions out. I used oil pastels for this because I wanted to create lots of deep, striking colors to show my emotion about it. Okay, so this portrait is for a project where we had to do a still life of someone else. So I actually had so many goofy photos of my sister on my phone, so I decided it would be a perfect opportunity to draw a piece for her. The size of this was 11 by 14, and I used color pencils in a primary color scheme. So for this still life, we used India ink, but instead of like a brush or a metal tip, we actually had to use sticks from the ground that we had to go find. And this was lots of fun, but unfortunately for me, all the sticks I chose kept breaking. So it ended up being a lot more of a difficult experience than I was expecting. So for this one, this is a self-portrait using charcoal. This was actually the first time I had used charcoal like this, so it was actually really fun, but I found it quite difficult for myself. And this was also the first time that I had done a self-portrait, so it's a lot of new experiences all wrapped up in one. And I actually do want to mention that my favorite part of it is the lights in the corner. I'm not really sure why, but they are, and I love them so much. So for this still life, I had to draw an outline using India ink and then go back in and add value in watercolor using this primary colors color scheme. This is actually pretty difficult for me because watercolor is not really my strongest medium, but I still had tons of fun with it. And this one was the first time that I had done still life by myself outside of teacher help. So I ended up using a lot of random things that I had found, like an old scrunchie I had made and then some old empty paints. So this piece is for an assignment called Some Treats. I had some sweet things I had drawn from sophomore year, so I decided to make a collage out of them. I used some old wrappers I'd found and some scraps from the prep pages I used for the previous still life. This was very fun and out of my comfort zone, but I had a really fun time making it. This piece is about how COVID was affecting me while we were in the bad lockdown period. This was my perspective upon this topic. So, on the outside, my exhaustion and self care was depleting, and all of my worries and responsibilities were stacking on top of one another like a pile of books. On the inside, all of my emotions and colors were crying. My worries were becoming too overwhelming for me, so I used charcoal and colored pencil for the outside perspective, and then I used oil pastel for the internal perspective. So this piece I named Death of Zeus, and we were told to copy or reimagine an old piece of artwork that we liked. I chose the statue with Zeus and two of his servant guys with this rope thing wrapped around them. I honestly didn't know what was going on, but I decided to make the rope thing, snake thing, kill the two servants beside him, and then have the snake thing about to kill Zeus. I used a ballpoint pen for this piece. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about my favorite works I've done over the past 2 years. This is Chloe Balkcom signing out.